Micromastery makes switching tracks pain-free, easy, and part of the program. We aren't meant to be specialists. As we mentioned earlier, one study showed that only 3.6% of the population are naturally inclined to specialization. If you are part of the rest of the population, read on. And even if you aren't, read on. According to extensive research for UNESCO by Dr. Robert Root Bernstein, we found that compared with typical scientists, Nobel laureates are at least 2 times more likely to be photographers, 4 times more likely to be musicians, 17 times more likely to be artists, 15 times more likely to be craftsmen, 25 times more likely to be writers of non-professional writing, such as poetry or fiction, and 22 times more likely to be performers, such as actors, dancers, or magicians. That's from R. Root Bernstein and M. Root Bernstein's keynote speech, Arts at the Centre paper, presented at UNESCO, the Second World Conference on Arts Education, Seoul, Korea, 25th to the 28th of May, 2010. These Nobel Prize-winning scientists are specialists, but they enhance their speciality with outside interests, thus gaining new perspectives. Being polymathic isn't just the province of the genius. It's open to everyone. All you need are multiple micromasteries. The current interest in the portfolio career reflects our need and willingness not to stick to one occupation all the time. And as we've seen, even if you do desire a more conventional single-occupation career, it pays to feed it with micromasteries. Suppose you have a child who seems unusually talented at science and appears to have a natural inclination towards maths and physics. You might be tempted to engage a maths tutor, hopeful that your offspring will achieve great things thanks to early specialization. Walter Alvarez, a doctor, saw things differently. His son Luis was gifted in science, but he chose to balance this by sending him to a school noted for arts and crafts. Instead of fast-tracking through advanced calculus, Luis worked at technical drawing and woodwork, which didn't stop him from going on to study science later and ultimately win the 1968 Nobel Prize in Physics. Luis attributed his success to his ability to build any experimental apparatus he could imagine. Developing fine motor skills was also essential to the success claimed by celebrated U.S. astronaut Story Musgrave. He grew up on a farm, where he learned the skills to fix anything, which was just as crucial in a space station as it was to his later degrees in engineering and medicine. There is informal recognition of the advantage of a polymathic background. 82% of scientists and engineers surveyed by Robert Root Bernstein answered yes to the question, would you recommend an arts and crafts education as a useful or even essential background for a scientific innovator? Reported in Robert Root Bernstein et al., Entrepreneurship in Science and Engineering correlates with sustained arts and crafts participation. Invited lecture, National Endowment for the Arts and the Brookings Institution, Washington, D.C., 10th of May, 2012. Arts and crafts are the natural home of micromastery, self-contained, scalable, repeatable, defined. Scientists and engineers are not alone in needing inspiration from elsewhere. Artists and writers also gain from having a non-arts background. W. H. Auden, Somerset Maugham, Anton Chekhov, and David Foster Wallace all had maths or science educations in addition to their literary pursuits. Foster Wallace was also a junior tennis player. Jack Kerouac and Ken Kesey were both American football players. Albert Camus played in goal for the Algerian national soccer team, and Samuel Beckett was a notable cricket player in his native Ireland, the only Nobel laureate to feature in the Wisden Cricketer's Almanac. When he was a child, Alexis Carrel, Nobel Prize winner in medicine in 1912, was taught by his lace-making mother how to stitch incredibly tiny and intricate patterns. He later used this skill in making groundbreaking advancements in the field of surgery. Hans von Euler-Chelpin focused on fine arts at college before an interest in colour led him to the sciences, and he would eventually win the 1929 Nobel Prize in Chemistry. Leading astrophysicist Jakob Shaham claimed, "Acting taught me how to read equations like a script with characters I had to bring to life."